But now it's like there's such demand for gamers. Everyone wants to be a streamer. Everyone wants to be a content creator. Everyone wants to be testing the new latest gadget. It's not just about being a gamer at this point, because there are tech channels who focus on like the latest gadget. Like, is this fun? Is this really good? What's the problem? Like, you don't have actual gamers sometimes buying these products.
Because like gaming is a luxury, you know, for all intents and purposes. It is a luxury. It's not a right, you know, and it's a luxury that we enjoy and we like to play when we can and things like that, but it's not something that we have a right to.
It's a motivation to look better in that cosplay. I like it. I like how it fits me, but at the same time, I'm like, oh, but I want to be snatched. I want to really, really like sell it. You know what I mean? I guess not, but because you know, you don't want to be a hot, sexy, big booby anime girl.
And here we go. We are back once again with another episode of the Uncivilized Arts podcast. I'm your host, Bumi Hazan, but I go by Bandit, Haze in the online space. And I'm joined once again by the amazing, courageous, how many other adjectives can I think of real quick? In the you know what, let me just say it. Lady Celeste Orchid. I was trying to think of like really cool words, and all I got was amazing and courageous. Like that is so lame. Magnificent. Yeah. How is it that somebody I tell people that, you know, I used to do spoken word in London, and they don't believe me when I tell them. And when things like this happen, I'm like, yeah, I can see why. I wouldn't believe me either. You know, I'm like, yeah, this is why people don't believe you when you say that. Like, I wouldn't believe me either. But yeah, I actually did used to do spoken word in London, and now I can barely put two words together. So
three.
Such as
you did put two words.
Three words, yes. I could barely put three words together.
All right. I listen. I pay attention.
Yeah, but better than I am at least anyway. But yeah, we're going to be talking about some things today. We're going to be talking about an independent movie called Hurricane Bianca and its sequel, Hurricane Bianca from Russia with Hate. We're going to be talking about Full Metal Alchemist, Brotherhood specifically. And we're going to be talking about Masters of the Universe, a new He-Man movie that came out a couple of weeks ago as we are recording this. But before we get into those topics, I'm just going to go on just a little bit of a rant. Just a little bit of a rant about God of War Laufey, just some opinions that I heard, or a opinion that I heard recently that, you know, I feel I need to say a little something. Just a little something. But before I do that, before I allow myself that little rant, I actually have a question for you, Lady Celeste Orchid. Since Steam have released or announced, I guess rather, the price of the Steam Box, and it is going to be over $1,000 for the 512 gigabyte version, and I think it's $1,049 for the 512 gigabyte version, but the 2 terabyte version I think was $1,300. I'm trying to get the prices to be more accurate.
Sounds about right.
It's expensive. It's pretty up there with the price, and of course, if you want a controller, it's a little bit more on top of that. What's your thoughts on prices? I mean, we know about the whole the AI causing RAM prices to go up, so that's going to be a big part of it. But do you feel like those prices are fair? Would you want one? Did you want one? Have you changed your mind about getting one, or is it just all like, you know, I don't even care about all that crap anyway?
No, so I'm still a gamer, like, first and foremost. I may be primarily Switch and PC based and somewhat cell phone, but I do think that gaming was always a luxury. And so it needs to stay at luxury prices. Everyone thinking like, oh, gaming's so affordable. It's like, it can, and it also cannot be, because this is a new product hitting the market. You have to be like the person getting in line to pay for it. But now it's like there's such demand for gamers. Everyone wants to be a streamer. Everyone wants to be a content creator. Everyone wants to be testing the new latest gadget. It's not just about being a gamer at this point, because there are tech channels who focus on like the latest gadget. Like, is this fun? Is this really good? What's the problems? Like you don't have actual gamers sometimes buying these products, or you have
Mm.
families who are just like, yeah, okay, this is the next thing that hit the market. I guess we have to buy it. Like you don't have the hardcore kind of gamer. So I think having a price this high will push people out of it. So it's like, this is not your Nintendo. Like Nintendo is supposed to be for everyone. That's why most of their games are like, E for everyone, Animal Crossing, Pokepedia, like Mario Kart. Versus Steam, when I think of Steam, I think of just like hardcore, really heavy loading, like open world games that are just crunching your space. Like you could probably only have 2 games. And that's including all the DLC content. So it unfortunately it makes sense because there are so many cell phones out there nowadays. Kind of like, what was it? The latest iPhone went for like 1,100 USD. So it's like it makes sense. It makes sense to me because not just because of inflation, but we will need to create the scarcity to the demand. And that's just kind of how it went. Back in the day in the 90s, there wasn't a lot of people who were like, oh, video games? Yeah, you freaking Poindexter nerd, get out of here. Go home and play your video games. Now it's the cool thing to do. Like, oh man, did you see this God of War shit? Oh man, did you see Prismata or Pragmata? Like, oh shit, Resident Evil's coming out. Oh, big titty goth lady. Like, no, it's such a now in your face commodity that it needs to be like Steam creating this as their first and personal, not like the Steam Deck, but the Steam Box. It really does have to be at a higher price point to fight against like PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo Switch. So for me, is it something that I personally want? No, because I'll get like my PC can handle that. Like if my PC is able to get all the same games, why would I get that? That just doesn't seem right. So anything that's like an exclusive game that I have to buy it on the platform. That being said, I don't know what's exclusive to Steam because Steam has all these other publishers posting on that platform. So like if you wanted God of War, right? That is a Sony exclusive. They are not going to put that on Microsoft, like Xbox or Nintendo. So like, yeah, I'm okay with that. Do I want to pay that price? Probably not. I'll probably get it secondhand. And it's like, that's what a lot of people are going to have to do. Now, you have to remember there's probably going to be someone there finding out that you got one because you posted it on your social media. They're going to come and steal it when you leave your window open.
Yeah, don't leave your
Probably
window
not.
open. Yeah, lock your
I'm just
windows.
saying. I'm just saying there's going to be high theft for that box, and scalpers are going to be hitting it so hard and reposting it on eBay. So yeah, you better be lucky if you can get it first run because scalpers love that shit. So that's my thoughts.
Okay. Yeah.
TLDR. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Mhm.
I think I agree with a few points you made on that. I mean, for my actually before I against my views, just to get the prices real quick. So yeah, 512 gigabytes is $1,049. 2 terabyte version is where's it gone? Yeah, here we go. 1,349
Mhm.
US dollars, and of course, they if you're in pounds, it's £879 for the 512, or £1,149 for the 2 terabytes. So yeah, it's pretty pricey. Of course, a little bit of a better deal if you get the 2 terabyte version because you're getting what 4 times as much space for a little bit more money. So it's a better deal. But either way, yeah, you're forking out a considerable amount of cash to get one. Now, as for myself, I do like the idea of the Steam Box. I like the idea of being able to play PC games, on a TV with a controller. Because I play a lot of, when I do play games on PC, I'm often using a controller anyway. So, but I'm at my desk, and that kind of thing. Whereas if you could be on your couch, that could be it's a bit of a nicer experience when gaming. If you could be on your couch with a bigger TV, with a bigger screen. So I like the idea of it, but it's certainly not. I feel to me an essential thing. Like you said, you could play the games on your PC. It's not that deep. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's and for that kind of money, for the novelty of being able to play it on my couch, I'm not sure I'd be willing to fork out that much for that, especially when it's like, yeah, these days I don't always get a lot of time to play games anyway, so it'd be a lot of money on something to do something once in a while with. So yeah, I think there is a market for it. I think there is a demand for it. It's definitely something that I would be interested in, but at that price, it's more like I like it, I want it, but for what I'd want it for and for how much I'm going to be using it, it's just yeah, it's a little bit out that range. Um, but yeah, unfortunately, I do think the price is probably about fair, just because of how expensive things like RAM and stuff like that is getting. And due to the
And
AI
storage space.
and various other factors that have put the price of these components up. So yeah, as much as it sucks from a consumer point of view, yeah, it does seem to me the prices are pretty fair, all things considering. To what you said though about creating a scarcity and that gamers being a luxury, I think that's an interesting point though, because like gaming is a luxury, for all intents and purposes. It is a luxury. It's not a right, and it's a luxury that we enjoy and we like to play when we can and things like that. But it's not something that we have a right to, and because of that, it's not something where unfortunately you can't really say like, oh, they have to price it at, because traditionally, where I say traditionally, but certainly in the long ago's, where they price consoles at a lower price and then try to reap the money back through game sales. you know um yeah, that's not really, it's not really something that you can say they must do, and especially for a company like Steam, where you can't really, I mean, I guess you can make money through game sales, but then it's a different model towards normal consoles as well. So how that works exactly could be quite worlds different. Worlds very very much different to how it might work with, say, a Sony or a Microsoft and things like that. So as much as it sucks, as much as I recognize I'm speaking out against my own best interests, yeah, I think the unfortunate truth is that that price is pretty reasonable, and it sucks if you either can't afford it, or it's just too much money for what it's offering. But it's a cool idea. um but yeah, at that price, it might be yeah, like you say, maybe wait so you can get it secondhand, or something like that. So yeah.
So
um
there's something else, because like you were saying, it would be nice to have like a PC version hooked up to like a TV. And like you can actually hook up your PC
oh
to a
yeah, I mean,
TV if
you
you
can
have the
do
right
that
port.
yourself.
You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
So
you
not
can do it
every game
yourself.
is
It's
going to be like keyboard and mouse. Like there are some games where you can actually have like a controller. So it's like this isn't really that efficient, like it's just another luxury item,
Yeah, no,
and
for
hence the
sure,
like
for sure.
price tag.
Yeah, I mean, you can plug your own PC into your big screen TV and play, whether with a controller, with a keyboard, however you want to do it. So in fact, I've done that in the past, where I've just plugged my PC into a TV and play that way. So it can be done. But yeah, it's the idea of having a smaller console-like box that could fit nicely or quite neatly in your, say, living room area, versus a PC's. The case is a lot bigger, and that kind of thing.
Yeah,
So
it's just
yeah,
great.
I like the idea of it, but at that price, as much as even though I think it's a fair price in terms of everything, all things considered, it's just that price where I'm like, for what it is, for what I'd be doing, yeah, it might have to be a miss, unless somebody's willing to send me one for free.
We'll get there. Send me one.
I don't know if Steam is sending out free boxes, but if they are, you can send
No,
one my way.
probably not.
Um,
Not yet.
but
Not big enough.
but speaking of Steam, I think I need to let off just a little bit of steam. That was a
I
good
believe you
segue.
do.
Just
I
a little bit of
believe you
steam.
got a
So,
lot of steam to let go.
so yeah, we talked about God of War Laufey last podcast. And we gave our thoughts on that, and that's well, I still stand by what I said, and and that kind of thing. And I realize this is the internet, and people on the internet are going to do what people on the internet do, and that's it. Just is what it is. But it's just that I came across an opinion recently, um, which it was such a I I really don't want to feel like I'm insulting anybody, because that's not what I want to do. So I'm not going to name any names. I'm not going to say who it is. I'm not trying to do that. But it was such a stupid opinion, and you know, and what was kind of unfortunate is that it's from a channel where I mean, I haven't watched their stuff for quite some time now, but I remember back in the day they'll put out some videos that were pretty good and pretty well thought out and that kind of thing. And you come across this and you just think, why? Like, why would you? How could this enter your head? And the way, especially when you started it out, like the person in the video started it out like, oh, this there's really good reasons to be skeptical about God of War, Laufey, and it's not just about men don't want to play as women. There's some really valid reasons. It's started out like it's like about to make a really good point that maybe a lot of us haven't thought of, right? And the viewpoint was because they based the character on Deborah Ann Woll, Deborah Ann Woll, the actress that plays Laufey, and she doesn't the Laufey's character doesn't look exactly like Deborah Ann Woll. It's basically why it's skeptical, and they were saying that it's a reasonable demand for gamers to want their characters to look like the actors that play them. And you're talking about a game series that has Kratos in it for years, who's never looks like the actors that played him. Like where's this coming from? Like, how and I get like there's this whole kind of grifter culture on the internet where people just kind of say things because it appeals to a particular demographic, and they're trying to just say what their audience wants to hear because it keeps them coming back and keeps their viewership up. And I get that. I don't particularly like it, but I get it, right? But surely, like, there has to be a limit where you realize what you are saying makes absolutely no sense at all. Because like when you look at gaming history, we have voice actors or motion cap actors. Most of the time, the characters don't look like the person that plays them. There's maybe
Oh
only a
yeah,
handful of characters that do. Like, there's some where they've clearly styled the character on the person that plays them, and they've made him look as close to that person as possible. There's lots of examples of that. I'm not saying that, but there's certainly way more examples of characters that look absolutely nothing like the person that plays them because that's not necessarily what they're going for. So to come on the internet and come up with a video, like 14-minute video, acting like you're about to give some really in-depth viewpoint, and then come up with like, oh, it's because she doesn't look exactly like that actress that plays her, and that's a valid. No, it isn't.
it's
No, it
not.
isn't. Like that. Like there is no rule that says video game characters must look like the actors that play them. Sometimes they do. A lot of times they don't. Sometimes it's a mixture. Maybe they look a little bit like them, but not all the way. There's no rule that says that has to be. It was a stupid thing to say, but you know what? Rant over.
They're fictional
Yeah,
characters. They're drawn up
exactly.
by game designers. They're not supposed to look like a normal person. Maybe
Yeah,
some are like Elle and like Joel, but even then,
they don't look the actors that play them.
no, they don't.
They look nothing like. I mean,
They
Joe
definitely
and
do not.
Baker, Troy Baker, Barker. It's Baker, not Barker.
Troy
Baker,
Barker.
Barker. Is it
I
Barker
thought
or
it was
Baker?
Barker.
Is it Barker?
I thought it was Barker.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Barker, Mr. Baker. But yeah, he looks
We're
nothing
sorry,
like.
Troy.
I'm sorry, Troy. Um, Baker is Baker. Troy Baker.
Okay. Well, then
And
I
he's the
was wrong.
second Troy Baker on IMDb, actually, for those who care about uninteresting trivia
Details.
like that. But yeah, anyway. But yeah, Joel looks nothing like Troy Baker. Ellie looks nothing like Ashley Johnson. I think
Lady
there's a
Demetress does not look like her voice actress. Oh my
yeah,
god.
like there's
She's not an 8-foot woman. Oh god. What do you mean
yeah.
she's not 6 meters tall?
In
Can you
fact,
imagine?
even in movies, they have actors that sometimes put on like tons of makeup and prosthetics and end up looking absolutely nothing like themselves. So like, there's really no
Brendan Fraser,
precedent
the
for
whale.
this, right? So there's really no precedent for this thing about that they to look like the actors that plays them, and that's a reasonable. No, it isn't. It's not. It's you're being
It's
silly, and especially when the
yeah, it's
character's already been introduced. What, 2 games ago, you know. Were they supposed to just change it drastically all of a sudden? You know, like
here now she comes big booby hottie that
yeah.
got Kratos going, not this sword fighting baddie who can take punches to the face. Punch me in the face. I think I won't handle it. I will not handle it like that, woman.
Yeah, no, I think I'll leave the getting punched in the face to professionals. They can do that.
Agreed.
All right then. All right. So
That's a terrible take, by the way, that person. I hope
what
they
getting
get
punched in the
shredded
face?
in their
Oh yeah, go
comments.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. I was ready for the comments, and there's a lot of people agreeing with it because, like, again, it appeals to the audience. You know what I mean? It's the type of thing they
They're just a
people
bunch
want to
of
hear.
sheeps.
And I think I saw like maybe one or two comments that questioned it. But yeah, mostly it was the people agreeing with it because it's like it's what they want to hear, and they're not really thinking about what is actually being said. They've decided that they don't like something, and regardless of what anybody's saying, as long as they say they don't like it too, even if they're saying something that doesn't actually make any sense, as long as they agree with each other, everything's fine. And then I don't know, like the internet has become such a place where you can't really have real conversations anymore because it's just echo chambers,
That's that's
you know,
hoopla. Yeah.
and
That's
it's
a
just
bunch of like that's a lot of sheep mentality that people aren't thinking for themselves because like you have actors. Like everyone is not supposed to look like the character that they are. You're supposed to fit the match if you're doing live action acting or casting. But when it even with that, who was it that did Battle Angel Alita? I forgot her name. But even then, they CGI'd over that girl's face to have the giant
oh yeah,
anime look.
yeah.
Yeah, I totally forgot her name. I'm like, well, Rose McGowan had the biggest eyes ever. She could have done it, but she's pretty old now. Um, it's just kind of silly in those retrospects because like even with like Dave Bautista, he has been in so many prosthetics for multiple movies, and it's just like he's not always going to be Dave Bautista. Like he's going to have a shaved head for probably 90% of all of his movies now. But like think about it, Drax and then that guy from Dune. Yeah, so it's just kind of like what else he's got.
I think his newer movies he's got hair.
I
I
hope
don't
he
know if
gets
he's
more
wearing a
hair.
I don't know if he's wearing a wig or not, but I think in some of his newer movies he's got hair. So yeah, he's got
Yeah,
range.
but like
Batista's got range.
yeah, his hair's got range. Not every actor can be bald. Let's just say that. But yeah, it's just like that's just such a terrible take.
Yeah,
Like some voice ranges, you're just not gonna get like hot anime guy to do it. And you're just actually gonna get disappointed finding out like the voice actor is like not attractive. So and then you're gonna blame the voice actor and be like, you need to work out. And it's like, what? Shut up. That's such a neurodivergent thought process of like, oh, if it's not really this character, it's not. It's also on the same sentiment of like, if your cosplay is not 100% the exact cosplay splitting from the screen, you're not. You're not in cosplay. Like that's just a pitiful recreation of what it should be. So
that's yeah. That sounds very elitist.
yeah, so it's the same thing.
Like I don't know, man. Like
Backseat.
I feel like as much as it's just one of the things that kind of irks me a little bit as well is that I hear all the time. You see all the time rather. People say things like video games are art, and I believe that. I actually do believe video games are an art form. But what's sad is that even though people say that, it's rare that people or a lot of people treat video games like art, and they treat them more like products. You know, the products that's supposed to do a particular thing. Like a toaster makes toast, right? And if your
Mm-hmm.
toaster can't make toast, then it's a pretty useless toaster. Now, I'm not trying to disrespect toasters. I'm just saying, like, it's designed to make toast. If it can't make toast, then it's not fulfilling its purpose. But that's a
Right.
toaster.
That's a
Art
fact.
isn't. Yeah, art isn't like that. Art isn't there to just do the one thing. You know, art can do a million things. Art can do so many things that even the creators of it didn't necessarily intend. It could do so many different things. But then you get all the time when a game's coming out, especially bigger games coming. And yes, I know there's money involved and there's a business behind it. I'm not naive to that fact. But at the same time, it's like, as far as us, the consumers, go, our concern should be, what is it doing for us? And in terms of, like, when I play this game or when I watch this movie, what are the feelings I get from it? But people get so focused on small things that fundamentally don't mean anything. Like, oh, the character doesn't look like this person, or she's not hot enough, or her boobs aren't big enough, or she's this skin color and not that skin color. And he's like, dude, come on, like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? Why are we trying to dissect and analyze and give a whole judgment on an entire product before it's even released? And make a definitive decision that this is going to be bad before it's even released. We know nothing about God of War Laufey apart from it's being made, and I guess there's going to be some action in it. That's basically what we know. It's just fighting, mythical,
The afterlife.
gods from various mythologies. Like, we know nothing really fundamental, like, core about the game. There's nothing that we've seen on this game that tells you if this game's going to be good, bad, somewhere in between, if it's going to make you laugh, make you cry, if it's going to make you think about things, if it's going to just be mindless entertainment. We know nothing about this game. Like, the bit that they've shown is nothing, okay? And yet everybody, and it's not just God of War Laufey, of course. I know this is happening with lots of different things, but it's just such a sad state of affairs that everybody is trying to, whether it's to get the clicks and the views and the attention, or get that hot take and everything, and it's just lost the idea of, this is still an art form, and you cannot make any kind of statement on an art form until you've actually experienced it. And experiencing a game isn't watching a 20-minute gameplay footage. Experiencing a game isn't deciding, oh, the character doesn't look like whatever. You don't experience the game until you actually play the game, because that's how it was meant to be experienced. That's how this art was meant to experience, with a controller in hand, sitting in front of the screen and playing through the game, moving your fingers, pressing the buttons, being surprised by enemies or whatever happens. That's the experience. Like, why can't we wait till that? Instead of trying to get, like, everything out and trying to get all. It's just so sad. It's so sad where, as much as we say games are art, we don't treat games like art. And I think we need to be treating games like arts, because they are art. But yeah.
I think one of the only creators that I've been watching recently that treats games like art is, like, Jacksepticeye.
Okay,
I watched him play a few, and I think it was yeah. So I binged his Resident Evil 9 and his Silent Hill F. And he just kept talking about, like, how beautiful the scenery is, how this acting was, like, what this storyline was going. He was actually really taking it in, as opposed to just, oh, look at that. Oh, look at this action. Oh, look at this. Look at that. Look how good this is. Oh, goodness. Like, he wasn't really just using that as his platform, but he was really experiencing it, telling how he enjoyed it, as the storytelling, the direction, the creation, the mooding, the lighting, even the lighting, because lighting plays a lot in video games.
Sure.
Like, oh my God, especially horror games. Oh, Lord have mercy. I can't play horror games anymore. I can. I might not beat it.
Wow. Yeah. Save it for another day.
Yeah.
Depends how much horror is in there.
Horror stories.
All right, big up Jacksepticeye.
A horror story about two boys trying to get back their lives.
What was that game?
It's called Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh, okay. That was. Didn't clock that reference. I just watched it as well. It's like, wait, what?
What?
Yeah.
Did you not watch your own shows, or
No,
is this
watched
like
it.
a?
I watched it, but I just didn't clock the reference. I was like, wait a minute, just watched it. But yeah, I've watched it. I've watched it. I've got some thoughts on it. I've got some thoughts on
Okay.
it. I've watched it.
Yeah.
Well, I
So
watched.
you have watched it?
I've well, I got a thought on it. I watched part one, and there's like 5 parts, so I got a thought on it.
Okay.
I
You
have
got
I might have
homework
other
to
thoughts
do.
once I get read the other parts. Um,
Okay.
but before we get to that, actually, let me not jump ahead too much.
That's
Before we
fine.
get to Alchemist, let's
We done
start with a little
ranting about the guy.
hurricane.
Oh, hurricane time! A
Hurricane
hurricane is
Bianca.
brewing.
Bianca. How am I pronouncing
Bianca.
it? Bianca.
Yeah,
Bianca.
Bianca.
Hurricane Bianca. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I watched the trailer for Hurricane Bianca, and
Yes.
it's interesting. um, so yeah, tell us about Hurricane Bianca. Why did this movie stand out to you?
Hurricane Bianca stars one of my favorite drag queens. Her name's Bianca Del Rio. She's sassy, kind of smart, quick-witted hater of a drag queen, and very, very clownish makeup, as foretold by Bianca. Bianca's like, "Oh, look at me, I'm a clown," but it's just the fact that I'm a woman, a woman clown. So I just think it's really fun. Bianca Del Rio did win her season of RuPaul's Drag Race, and this, I believe, caused this movie and this sequel to happen. And I think it's just interesting because, like, I knew that there was a movie, but I didn't give it a chance yet. And then I finally gave it a chance when I saw it was on YouTube. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna throw this on. I do like it. It features the normal citizen version of Bianca a few times, and it's just kind of weird to see her in her male form when I'm used to seeing her as just a drag queen, because I also watch a lot of her online content. If I would totally see her live. I would love to see her live. She is a funny person. That being said, it was just interesting to see which drag queens were actually on the show, who they got cast. This first one was really good because it did touch on sensitive topics, especially in smaller towns, which I believe could really happen. And it doesn't feel like it's too far off the mark sometimes, like when they hit it. But there are some marks where I'm just like, yeah, that's definitely written. So yeah. But yeah, I liked it. Basically, Bianca gets a teaching job and the town's kind of homophobic. So
Yeah, the impression I got from the trailer was that, um, yeah, works as a teacher, ends up getting fired, but then comes back as the Bianca, as the so she's as a teacher in, I'd say, in male form. Initially
mhm.
gets fired, but it comes back as Bianca. That's, I guess, when the main movie starts. Um, but it was interesting because when you told me that you wanted to say it, I looked it up, and I think I saw it. It was somewhere, and they were charging some money to watch it. I was kind of like, I don't want to pay for that. No, I don't want. But then I noticed it today. We just mentioned as well that it is actually on YouTube for free, which is pretty
Mhm.
cool because to be clear, when I say it's on YouTube for free, I mean the actual people who made the film have put it on their channel for free. So it's not like some pirate version that
No,
somebody
it's
ripped.
not like one of these like
It's a
weird
legit
AI.
version for
Hmm.
free. So that is really cool to see that they're making a film accessible to people to just watch for free on a platform that most people by now have access to. So that's a really cool thing to see, if nothing else. But yeah, I mean, I would say that when I was watching it, like watching the trailer, like I get that it felt like it's supposed to be a comedy, but I'm not sure I was getting the jokes. Um, would you say the jokes are maybe more catered towards a particular community, and that's why I'm not getting them, or is it maybe just the trailer's not representing it that well?
The trailer does not represent it that well. There's a lot more that goes to it. A lot of it feels like a lot of teenage humor. Like, ooh, we're gonna slip weed brownies, or like, ooh, we're gonna slip, what is it? What's that? What's the runs? product, what, Pepto-Bismol? No, magnesium. Anyways, oh, we're gonna give like the diarrhea brownies to our teacher and make them have to go diarrhea kind of joke. Like that's such teenage humor kind of stuff. And then you have a little bit of like sexual humor where it's like Bianca comes in and she's pushing around the principal and she's like, "You're gonna give me a job, mister, and you're going to love me for it because I can get you whatever you want." Stuff like that. I really don't think it's hard to swallow as a viewer. I almost said watcher. That sounds so weird. But I think if you're just watching it, like the full movie, you'll understand the context at face value. It's not supposed to get too deep. Like the deeper topics that they have is like basically like education really does matter if you put the time and effort into it as a teacher and in your community. And then the other is like gay rights in so many words, as well as like family acceptance. So it deals with a lot with like LGBTQ plus like community kind of like hardship realities. But I think the other part to it was definitely the education part too.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Is
it's pretty face value in my opinion.
I saw. Oh, I guess we'll get to From Russia with Hate in a little bit because I saw Wanda Sykes is in that one. But is RuPaul in any of them?
Yes, RuPaul's in the first one.
She's in the first
RuPaul
one. Okay.
makes cameo appearances as a TV weatherman.
Okay, so RuPaul's in Paul.
The first one.
A version, Paul form. Okay.
Yeah, he's in his male form.
With that actually, because I guess I'm learning this now. So when talking about drag queens,
Yes.
I would say male form rather than. Well, I guess I won't say the other word because that might be considered rude. But you say they're in their male form, and then they're in their drag queen form. Is that right?
Oh, you could say outside of drag. So like outside of drag, like you could say it like that.
Okay.
Because like they're just a normal citizen when they're not in drag. So it's just like some people have transitioned after starting drag. They're like, this is what I've been looking for. This is who I really am. I really feel like I've always been trapped in the wrong body. Now I understand who I am. So there are a few drag queens, probably more than a few now, who definitely have transitioned. So it's just like when Bianca Del Rio's out of drag, he is a man. And he recognizes that he is a man outside of drag. Versus like if you're referring to him as a he when he's in Bianca Del Rio, that's incorrect. Like you need to call him a her.
Okay. But I guess that's
Yeah,
not
and if you
quite.
want to be shady, if you're like, it's really rude if you're not friends to do it. But if you call like that person who's in drag, like a he, and there's explicitly like a she in drag pronouns, so it's like that's a shady thing to do. But if you're friends, it's kind of funny. But if you're not, it's really insensitive.
No, I think that's fair. Okay, I think that's that. But I guess it's not quite the same as like preferred pronouns when talking about sort of gender dysphoria. It's maybe similar but not quite the same as that. Would that be right?
I would say so. Because like there are some people who are like non-binary, but when they enter drag, they only want to be called she, and her, as opposed to like when they exit, they're like, I'm okay to have they, them, she, and her.
Okay. Wow, I learned something today, and maybe you learned something too, watching or listening to this podcast. And we might even learn some more in a little bit. But before that,
Yes,
let's just.
would you give a watch to Hurricane Bianca?
Will I watch it? You know what? I might actually. Because it is on YouTube and it is for free, and it's in like an hour and a half. Like an hour 20 something minutes. So yeah, I might watch it. I don't know if I'll watch it soon. We'll see how the week goes, and things like that. But yeah, I might give it a little go. I might give it a little go. If for nothing else, it's cool to watch a free movie on YouTube.
Woohoo!
So yeah, I might just do that. But speaking of free movies on YouTube, let's talk about a TV show that is not free and not on YouTube.
It is on Netflix if you pay for that subscription service.
It's on Netflix, yes, but yeah, you don't get Netflix for free. And if you
No.
are, then you're probably doing something you shouldn't be doing, unless you just happen to be really lucky and somebody's paying for it for you. And in which case, make sure you say thank you to that person.
Thank you.
But yeah, let's talk about Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Now, this was a show that was recommended to me, and the way it was by my younger brother, actually.
Okay.
So
Disappointment.
he's into
You never
anime
listened to my
as well,
recommendation.
so I think you guys might have a lot to talk about because he's big into
Okay.
anime too.
Woohoo.
But yeah, so I've heard of the show before, but I've never really paid much attention to it. So the way it was explained is that there was a show called Full Metal Alchemist, right? And that was based on a manga. However, as they were making the show and making the show, eventually goes past where the manga was, right? So it kind of end up pretty much doing something. Now, apparently it was kind of doing its own thing from the beginning anyway, but certainly from that point, it just went off in whatever. They were like, okay, we're just going to, and it just took its own direction after that point. Now, with Brotherhood, what happened is that now that the manga itself is finished, they were like, okay, let's do this again, but let's stick closer to the actual manga. That's how it's explained to me. Now, I've not read the manga, so I can't comment on how close it is to the manga or not. I'm not seeing the original Full Metal Alchemist either. What just happened there?
What
just happened on my screen?
I didn't say anything. I'm letting you talk.
Oh no, it's just the screen just shifted for some reason. So yeah,
it's cringing.
It's a weird thing. It's the weird thing that happened on my screen, but yeah, I think we're good.
We good.
So, there we go. So yeah, I've not watched the original anime, and I've not read the manga. So my only experience of Full Metal Alchemist is Brotherhood, and so far I've only watched the first part, which is part 1 of 5. And I do intend on watching the rest of it. So maybe I'll talk more about those parts at a later podcast. But for now, let me just talk a little bit about Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood Part 1. So, I mean, I'll say overall, I liked it. It's kind of it felt like a weird show though, because it has a very kind of serious story, but then it does a lot of this kind of over the top anime stuff. Where when animes do that thing where they have characters all of a sudden just get really freaked out, kind of like that. It would do like a lot of that sort of thing. And you have this character, like the main character, who, he's a pretty serious dude. Like, and they've been through, won't give away any spoilers, by the way. I'll keep spoilers to a minimum. But they've been through, some stuff. Like him and his brother have been through some pretty serious stuff for their young age. And so yeah, he's a pretty serious dude. But it's like, okay, you get that. But then he has this weird complex about, people talking about people, mistaking him for the younger brother when he's the older brother because he's short. And on one hand, it's like, okay, I get it to some extent because yeah, you're the older brother, but it's so over the top, when it happens, where it just becomes comical. And so you basically have to show that it's serious, they're doing these serious things, and they're doing it in serious ways, got these serious characters, and then they have these reactions that are just so over the top comical that you just kind of like, this is. But I don't know. So I don't know if that's how the manga was done. But apparently, this version is sticking closer to the manga. Maybe not. But yeah, it's an interesting show. It's about, of course, about alchemy and the equivalence exchange of alchemy, and they're basically trying to find. They've done something. I won't say what they've done, but they've done something that is considered a major taboo in alchemy, and there are consequences with that. And so basically the show is them trying to, rectify those consequences. And yes, it's pretty interesting seeing their journey and seeing what they going through and that kind of thing. I would say what's really interesting as well is that by the time you get to the end of the first part, the way it ends, like if you think about how a season ends, you know, a season might end in a way where it might give you a cliffhanger, or it might maybe give you some kind of bombshell news that you weren't expecting. To try and keep you interested for the next season. So you be like, oh god, I can't wait to see what happens next, right? This doesn't do that at all. you know. And it just ends in a way that is like a regular episode, like it ends the season or the part in a way it's just like a regular, and not even like a regular episode, like what, like as if it was like maybe the first one or two episodes. It just ends in such a way where it's like, okay.
All right, we good. We done.
Yeah. And it's like you're just assuming that we're gonna watch the second part. You're not even gonna try and convince us as to why we should watch the second part. You're just gonna assume that we're gonna watch the second part, and you don't have to convince us. You're gonna watch it anyway, so we don't need to bother come up with some cool, intriguing ending. We're just gonna do whatever because you're gonna watch the second part anyway. And they're right. I do plan on watching the second part anyway. But it's just like, we just gonna end it like this? Okay. All right then. well, but yeah, I mean, so far so good. So far so good. It's definitely an interesting show with some interesting creative choices. But yeah, so far so good with Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Have you seen Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Lady Celeste?
Oh hell yeah, I have. I actually cosplayed from it this year. I did Lust.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I haven't taken proper pictures of it yet, but I have finished it, and I will be releasing a YouTube video shortly whenever I do get proper pictures. So, because I'm a mommy bod, I do want to like tone up just a little bit more, just so I can pull off Lust a little bit better. But I have children. I'm already exhausted. Going to the gym is even harder. So it's a motivation to look better in that cosplay. I like it. I like how it fits me. But at the same time, I'm like, oh, but I want to be snatched. I want to really, really like sell it. You know what I mean? I guess not. But because you don't want to be a hot, sexy, big booby anime girl that could probably get people being all like, why isn't this person the voice actors? I'm not a voice actor. I wanted to be, but I've done enough acting. I'm good. But yeah, I loved Alchemist. The Full Metal Alchemist was so good. I held off on it because I was in the hype when Full Metal was like just being Full Metal Alchemist, right? But then when Brotherhood came out, oh god, was it annoying as hell hearing everyone just go off on I'm like, I get it, but your overhypeness is just too much for me. So I'll watch it when I'm ready. And I finally watched it like 4 years ago. I think it was during COVID time or after COVID time. I can't remember, but oh my god. I'm like, I get it. And I'm glad that I did it after the fact, because like I don't think he's my friend anymore, but there's this one guy, he actually got one of the symbols tattooed on him. He's like, yeah, I regret getting that. I'm like, oh, there's a lot of choices in life. That's one of them. Choices. But yeah, Full Metal, highly recommend. I think it's one of the best roles for Vic Mignogna. He's had some allegations, and I feel bad for that guy. But you reap what you sow. That's all.
Wait,
He's
what
the voice
with
of Edward Elric.
wait, what happened with him?
Like he did like some sexual scandals, like unwanted solicited harassment kind of stuff. And especially like at anime conventions, people started coming forward. And then eventually that led to him losing jobs. It became this huge thing all over the internet within the anime community. So Funimation, like they were so huge. They were one of the big hiring for anime voices. And Vic Mignogna was the voice of Brawley, and then they fired him because of the allegations. The whole suit wasn't finished yet, and then he took them to court, and then they countersued. So it was just like this huge scandal of like, hey, all these people are coming forward about you being like a creep. We really don't want to work with you. That's really dangerous for our fans because they're younger people. And it's just like we want to protect them, so we don't want to give you more of a platform. And it's just like, yeah, that happened. And then later, I believe like a year or two after, he was on a podcast live streaming, and he was adjusting his camera, right? And his camera fell down, and you saw that he was just sitting there in leopard print underwear. So, I mean, it's kind of like, dude, that's kind of creep. Like, I'm fully dressed in my shark onesie, okay? Like, I came as a shark. But at the same time, it's just like, dude, put some pants on, have a blanket cover. I don't know. Like, just because it like no one sees down there, that could always happen. Something can always happen.
You know what? You
But
gotta.
that's so
You gotta.
creep-tastic.
You gotta. Like you. I mean, I get the temptation, especially like right now. It's like mad hot where I am and real humid. So I get the temptation, but you gotta make sure you're dressed because like you never know where you might just like don't know without even thinking about it, just stand up. You know what I mean? Where you're not
Exactly.
even thinking about it, you might just stand up to reach something, and before you know it, it's like, oh damn it.
It's
So
like,
yeah,
there's my briefs.
stay
Nasty.
dressed. Stay dressed.
Yeah. Stay dressed,
Stay
everyone.
dressed.
Unless you're in OnlyFans, then go ahead, get undressed.
I might need some
You
more
know, I
fans right
forget
now,
the other
actually.
site,
Oof,
but whatever. Huh?
oof. Just saying,
Oh, I'm sorry.
OnlyFans, I might need some
I feel
fans.
so good. It's so good over here. Everyone's like, why are you wearing such warm clothing? I'm like, because I'm cold. I'm cold-blooded.
Oof,
I
man.
really am. Even my husband's like, you're so cold and it's like summer. I'm like, listen, there's a reason why I was drawn to LA because it's warm. And now I live in Denmark and now I'm super accustomed to the cold.
Yeah, we're not at all. Like it's today was like 30 degrees Celsius, which I'm not,
Oh, Jesus
I don't know what
Christ.
that is in Fahrenheit.
No, it's okay. I
But
know. Like,
it's
that's
hot.
like 80.
Yeah, it's hot. Um,
Yeah.
and especially when it's like real humid as well. And yeah, it was just, yeah, it's a lot.
No, I'm
It's a
good.
lot.
Do not do it to me.
All right then. So from Full
Mhm.
Metal Alchemists. No, wait. Actually, let's try this. From Brotherhood to Mother Russia. Okay, maybe that wasn't so good. Um, so let's talk about Hurricane Bianca from Russia with Hate, the sequel
Let's do it.
to Hurricane Bianca. So yeah, I mentioned before Wanda Sykes. I saw the trailer. Wanda Sykes is in the sequel, which is really cool to see. I like Wanda Sykes; she's really funny. Um, but yeah, what's yeah, so the trailer, I guess at some point Bianca, no, sorry, the teacher goes to prison, and as she comes out of prison, seeks revenge on Bianca, and I can't
Hmm.
remember the reason, but I guess they have to go to Russia for something. I did it was in the trailer for some reason, but yeah, tell us about from Hurricane Bianca from Russia with Hates. How does it work as a sequel? Does it work as a sequel? Is it worth watching? And is it more of the same, or is it like, you can just give this one a miss?
It gets more campy. So it is definitely a sequel. It makes sense as a sequel, but I hate where they took it with this extra character that follows Bianca around. I really hate that character. I can't stand how like dumb they made that person and like how loosey goosey, and it's like, oh, it's your job to take care of this person because they're so stupid. It's like, oh, look at that Gatorade on the floor. I'ma lick it. I'm like, oh no, I can't. I can't handle stuff like that. It's not because I'm a
Half
mom.
second rule.
It's just like, have some freaking decency, Jesus. If you're that stupid, like maybe you should figure something out. So I don't know. I hated that character. That entire character ruined the story for me. But they did have a few other drag queens come in, which I thought was really funny. So I had a fun time about that. And one of them being is Katya. Katya Zamoloshkova is like a really popular drag queen for not winning, but like doing a podcast and TV shows with her friend, who is also pretty good, Trixie Mattel. So
Okay, I've
Katya
heard
and
of Trixie
Trixie are
Mattel.
like, oh, you know Trixie Mattel?
Yeah, I've heard of Trixie Mattel. I mean, I don't know if I know her, but I've heard of her. I'm sure I've
What
heard
do
that
you
name
know?
before. I mean, what do I know? I know she's been on TV.
Obviously, they were
That's
on RuPaul's Drag
that's
Race.
about the extent of my knowledge. It was just a name I recognized. I probably know very little about her, actually, to be fair.
Yeah, Trixie also has like ridiculously crazy clown makeup. So, like Trixie, no, Katya does more like normal woman like facial feature makeup versus Trixie and Bianca both have really harsh, like big makeup eyes, like those big. Whereas Katya like accents her features, so it's cute. I don't really like the mother teacher like character. I really think the whole living out of spite thing really annoyed me. But it's like, what are you going to do with this character? She's just living on spite and like revenge, so
I mean,
makes sense.
people be like that, though, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, but overall, the story wasn't terrible. It was definitely like B grade to C grade, like C for campy, B for boobs. I don't know. Would I recommend it? No, the first one was so much better. That's about
Okay,
it. The
so
action was like mid, but it's like, what do you expect? They're not like it is what it is. Like sketch comedy kind of segments.
okay, so I guess whereas the first one maybe did a lot in terms of telling a story with some humor, depth. Um, Maybe this felt a bit more like trying to cash in on its popularity type thing.
I wouldn't even say that. I think they made it just to make it. Like, hey guys, we have time. We got a little bit of money left. Let's make this random thing with green screen and random hotel bits and bobs here and there. Like, I don't think it's a bad movie, but if I had to choose, like, that's definitely in the background. Like, don't sit there and like sit and watch like this. Like, don't study it. First one had a little bit more meaning than the second, so
Okay,
that's why I like that one.
all the effort went into the first one, I guess.
Yeah.
Oof,
Either way,
wow.
it was pretty good, but it was not better than the first. I was entertained.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I still might watch both actually because they're both on YouTube and both
Yep.
free and neither of them are particularly long. So yeah, I might try and watch both and well, I mean, I'll try. We'll try to have as little expectations as possible and just let the movie do what it does. And it's involves a topic that I really don't know a whole lot about. So I'm sure there's things I might not necessarily get just from that anyway. But I think hopefully there's still, at least from what you're saying, it sounds like there's still enough in there to, things that, because I guess there's certain things that regardless of, who you are, where you're from, there's certain things are just somewhat universal in terms of their relatability. So I guess there's some of that in there as well.
Hmm.
All right then. So from the hurricane to the okay, that was a
From
crappy
man,
segue.
from drag queens going from
Oh,
woman to man and man to woman. I guess we're going to go to man to he man.
yeah. From
There you go.
from they them to he man. um,
That's a
so
segue.
yeah. Masters of the Universe. A recent movie. They made a Masters of the Universe movie back in what 88, 89 with Dolph Lundgren. And I thought that movie was great. Of course, it's based on the animated series from the 80s, which I was a fan of back in the day as well. And for those who don't know, here's a little piece of trivia. The 80s series, the animated 80s series, actually based on a toy line. So Mattel created the toys for He-Man, and then as a way of trying to sell the toys, they then created the cartoon He-Man. So oftentimes it's the other way around, right? Where you have a cartoon and then the toys come out afterwards. But in this case, it's not the only case like this, but yeah, in this case, the toys actually came out, and then they were like, "Oh, well, how are we going to sell this? Let's make a cartoon," and that's the He-Man cartoon was created. Um, but yeah, this movie that just come out recently, I really liked it. I mean, it's there, I'm gonna say there's some parts in the movie that, in my opinion, I felt like didn't land so well. Like some of the jokes, um, it wasn't that the jokes were bad, so to speak, but it did feel like some of the jokes felt a bit forced. Like maybe they were doing it at the wrong time or that kind of thing, because it kind of has this drama comedy type vibe to it, and in my opinion, it doesn't always get that balance right. But when it does get it right, yeah, it's
Okay.
pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. And I think if you're somebody who doesn't know anything about He-Man or the Master of the Universe, I think there's still enough there to, let you know what's going on. I think if you're a fan of the original cartoon, there's enough there for nostalgia without it feeling like just nostalgia baits. Um, and I think what they've done as well, because let's keep it real, the cartoon, even back in the 80s, was campy. Like it was, we watched it and we enjoyed it, but it was very campy. And watching it now, like if you watch it again in a modern era, the campiness just stands out so much. And that's part of the reason why, of course, we still like it, because it's so of its time. But I liked how they didn't ignore its campy origins and they also didn't make fun of its campy origin. They didn't like treat it like it's a bad thing to be embarrassed about, and they incorporate it in a way where it makes sense for the film being, in 2026, without it feeling just like nostalgia bait, or just for the it made sense how they did it, and it worked really well with the film. And down to how the characters are named and all of that, and it was a lot of fun to watch. My one gripe, and it's not even with the movie, it's just I guess it's a second mini rant. Please don't talk in the cinema. Like I don't care for your
What?
opinion in the cinema. When we're in
What
the
do you mean?
cinema,
What are you
people
talking
be
about? Like,
I'm
what do
sitting
you
next to
like?
this
What
dude,
happened?
and he's just running his mouth throughout the movie, and I had to tell him to shut up. I mean, I was a bit polite about it, because I'm a
Are you
gentleman.
sure?
I'm a gentleman. But yeah, it's like, come on, dude. Like, we're not trying to hear your opinions right now. You know what I mean? Like, we're here to watch a movie. We're trying to enjoy the movie. Let the movie be a movie. If you want to talk afterwards, fine. But now it's like, I don't know you. Nobody here knows you apart from whoever you're with, and even they're not trying to hear your opinions right now. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, please, please, just your mouth, zip it. So yeah, that
Okay.
happened.
I thought
That
you meant
happened.
like, so I thought you meant that He-Man was giving his opinion on his own movie. I was like, what do you mean he's giving his own? Okay, got it, got it. I
Yeah.
didn't know you meant some rando
Some
next to you was being a
dude,
dick
yeah, and I
and
just happened to
ruining
be
the
sitting right
movie.
next to him as well. And I was like,
Hmm.
please, please, can you stop talking, please? I was like, please. And he's like,
Oh,
okay.
did he respect that?
He did actually. He did. He's talking like maybe for the first, I want to say 20, 30 minutes. Because I was
Okay.
kind of, because when
Anything
that
past
happens
30
and you
minutes,
kind of
maybe.
like, okay, it's just once, I'll ignore it, whatever. That happens again, and you kind of like, okay, please don't continue this. You try and in mind, don't continue, and it's going to get, it keeps going. And you're like, okay, dude, please, please, just can you please stop talking? You know? So it got like
Oh,
that.
that's nice.
It got like that. It's like, but yes. Aside from that, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I think it's a great film. I like the characters. I liked how it all kind of played together. Um, yeah, I liked how they did everything, and also, um,
Also.
I don't know if this might be a spoiler though. Oof, I might have to stay a little quiet on this one. But for those who've seen it, I'm gonna say that I really liked what it did when it let you know
Oh, when he
if
transforms?
they if they make a sequel, if, and I guess it's still an if at the moment. Hopefully, they make a
Oh,
sequel.
they're
But
gonna make a sequel. Come on.
if they make a sequel, it'll let you know something, and it's pretty damn cool. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. I think if I say too much, I'm just giving away a spoiler. But if you've seen it, then you know what I mean. If you've seen it, you know what I mean. And especially if you've
So
seen it and you remember the old school cartoon, because like if you're not familiar with the old school cartoon, when they did what they did, you might not fully know what they're doing. But if you know the old school cartoon and when they did what they did, you're like, all right, all right. So yeah, let me just leave that there. Let me just leave that there. But yes, I really liked it. Did
let me
you?
ask,
I mean,
when you're like, let me ask you, when you're in a movie theater, do you get like uh how do I say it? Do you respond to the movie with your body language? Like if there's like something cool happening, do you like get out of your seat like yeah, like do
um,
you move during the movie if something gets you? Like obviously you're going to laugh if something's funny, right? You're not just going to
yeah.
sit there and be like, yeah, that's funny. Obviously, but do you
LOL.
respond while watching with your with gesture?
Sometimes, I mean, I try to keep it, contained and respect the fact that you're not the only one there and you don't be like bumping into people or whatever. But yeah, I think there's definitely been movies where, something's happened and it's so cool that you kind of move out your seat a little bit, and that kind of thing. And I think when it's happened, at least to my knowledge, I think when it's happened, like it's usually like a thing where everybody's kind of moved as well. So I think I don't, to my memory, remember a time where I've been mad excited about something and everyone else is just deadly silent. So I feel like when these things happen, it's usually something that everybody's getting. Everybody kind of gets what just happened and we're all kind of in it. And when that's the case, if you've kind of moved out your seat a little bit or that kind of thing, maybe you accidentally bump the person next to you, it's not really a problem because they're all kind of in it. I don't think, to my knowledge, it's ever happened where I've been like, "Oh my god," and then like everyone else is just sitting there, like, you know. Like,
Like, what the fuck's wrong with you, buddy?
that being said, I've definitely laughed at things that nobody else has laughed at, so that's happened.
Oh, that's definitely me.
That's happened
That's
a lot.
1,000% me. There's some things where it's just like it's supposed to be super serious, and then like something else happened, and I just like freaking laugh so hard. Oh my god, I feel so bad. There are so many times when we're watching like suspense or kind of like horror movie, and just the action that the character has to do just made me laugh. I was like, oh my god, you can't tell me slapstick humor is not funny because this is so slapstick if you take it out of context. So I'm like, where's it? That's not out of context. You're just crazy. It's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
You
It's,
know.
it's just it's just a thing.
I was just
Sometimes you
curious
can't
because
help
like
it.
yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can't
yeah.
help it.
Because
But
like
hey,
if you're raised on Three Stooges and you're used to watching people get slapped for humor, you just grow up with it. Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, like, oh, I'd love a duck roast dinner. Elmer Fudd comes over, shoots Daffy in the face. Like, it's supposed to be funny. I grew up with that. That's funny to
yeah,
me. People saying,
it's
oh
kind of
yeah, they have like Phantom of the Opera mask. I got this mask half off. I'm like, that's no, that's not funny to me.
It's kind of mad when you think about it, though. Like the like cartoons that we had as kids, there, yeah, where like you get like Elmer Fudd or whatever shooting Daffy Duck in the face like close range, and we're laughing at it. Like, why are we laughing at a duck getting shot in the face, close range with a shotgun, and we're
I mean,
laughing?
yeah,
Like, what? No wonder we're messed up. Like, no, we're some, we're
no. Are you with like neurodivergent problems? Can you leave your house? Do you hold a normal job? I have such a rant on that, and like that is not for this podcast. But I need to
I
tell
guess
you
okay,
in
no,
private,
yeah, fair,
especially
fair. Where there's
like
things
no, we
we
are perfectly fine
there's
compared to
things we
some
do
people that
okay.
I've met
We're
without
just
it.
we're messed up in other ways, but we could hold our job down. So we at least got that
You'd
bit
be
right.
surprised how many people I've met who cannot have a job and they're in early retirement.
Oh,
Not even joking.
did you
Anyways,
did you watch He-Man back in the day?
no. because I was not into that. I wasn't even into She-Ra. It was just not for me. Like the most I've seen of He-Man is Skeletor running around going kind of thing, and the Maya He. You know,
What?
have you seen that?
The
Maya
what?
He, where he's like Maya He, Maya Ho,
Oh,
Maya
the meme.
Ho.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, the meme. That's it. Like
yeah.
I feel like I have watched it, but I can't say for certain I understood the story. I might have been too young.
I
That being
mean,
said, I was
it
not born
wasn't
in
that
the 80s.
complicated. Like it was basically He-Man fights bad guys, and it's like, all right, yeah, that was basically it. Then you get like
Does he get with She-Ra? If he doesn't get with She-Ra, it's not worth it to me.
well, no, she was his sister.
Oh, never mind. That's
Yeah.
gross. Not about that. No. This is no like
Yeah, was
ancient
it sister or
Egypt.
cousin? I don't remember. They're related somehow. I forget how. But yeah, yeah. They're I forget how they're. It's either sister or cousin. But I remember when they did She-Ra. She-Ra was kind of like because you had He-Man for the boys and so for She-Ra for the girls.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how it was back then. Nowadays things are a bit more. Whoever watches it,
Right.
right? But
Yeah.
back then it was like you had stuff for the boys and stuff for the girls. So He-Man was for the boys and She-Ra was for the girls. I still watch She-Ra anyway. Um, and
Mm-hmm.
I remember the thing about She-Ra is that the show. I feel like the one thing I feel like they mess up on She-Ra on is that they probably featured He-Man a little bit too much because like they'd have episodes like I think in the first few episodes they'd have be like, oh, She-Ra would call for help and He-Man would come to her plan to help her out. And it's like, come on, let the girl do it by
Let
herself.
her
You know what I mean?
shine a little bit, you
Exactly.
know.
So I feel like that's where they kind of mess up a bit. But other than that, I mean, it was still a pretty good show. And the one thing I would say they definitely did better than He-Man was the theme music. Like if you remember the
Oh,
theme
really?
music for She-Ra, it was lit. It was like the theme for He-Man was it was alright. It was pretty cool. It was alright. But when it comes to like 80s cartoons, 80s children's cartoons theme music, She-Ra is probably like, in my opinion, I'd say at least top three, like maybe even number one. Like, but it's definitely up there because you got like, I mean, She-Ra, Thundercats, and there's a few others I'm kind of blanking on, but those were for me were like the when it comes to theme music, like
Mm-hmm. Wasn't
oh,
G.I. Joe
Mask,
back
not
then?
Mask. G.I. Joe would have been back then as well. But what's it? Defenders of the Earth. That's another good one as well. So yeah, I feel like those ones are like top three, top five. But yeah, She-Ra, the theme music of She-Ra was so lit. It was so
Also,
lit.
wasn't it old school X-Men was there? It's like
Not in the
X-Men,
80s. That would have been
X-Men back in the
90s.
day. Oh, that's not 90s?
That was
Oh, okay.
90s. That was 90s. That was good theme music, but yeah, that was 90s.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
no,
but that is
no,
not
no, no.
80s.
No, 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 no. But 80s, yeah, She-Ra, Thundercats, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That was another good one. That was late
Was
80s,
that
but still
80s?
counts. Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was 80s. Yeah,
Wild.
Teenage Mutant. In the UK, we call it Hero Turtles, not Ninja Turtles, but that's a whole nother thing. Yeah, they call it Hero Turtles. Teenage Mutant
That's
Hero
weird.
Turtles. Yeah, apparently they
That's
felt the word
weird.
ninja was too violent, so they called it Hero Turtles in the UK. And it was called,
But you
I
could
guess,
tell that
Ninja
they're
Turtles
ninjas
everywhere
with their
else.
bandanas and shit.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they used the word ninja in the show as well, but for whatever reason, they changed the title to Hero Turtles rather than Ninja Turtles. And
That's so silly. That's so
yeah,
silly.
that's some weird
Speaking of
old
music,
rules.
did you like the music from Full Metal Alchemist? Oh my god. The
Um,
opening.
I did. I can't remember how it goes right now. Oh wait,
Hmm?
are you humming it? Sorry.
Yeah, I was humming it.
Okay.
Because it's just like really slow and then it gets to like this really quick beat where it's like super fast and then it goes into something a little bit more melodic. And oh, I think that's the ending. Never mind. I can't remember the beginning.
But
But the
yeah, no.
ending song, oh my lord. It is one of my tops. You should listen to it really quick.
Yeah, no, I liked it. I mean, I can't remember how it goes right now, but I remember liking it. 'Cause I know I never skipped it. I never skipped it. Like to be fair, I very rarely skipped intros anyway. But yeah, I never skipped it. you know.
I skip it all the time. If I am not lit within the first few seconds of the intro, I'm out. Like I skip straight into the meat. It's kind of like, do you want super salad? No, I want the meat on my table. I want the burger right here. Like don't bother me with that
You gotta
shit.
nah, you gotta eat the salad. You gotta eat the
No,
salad. Of course.
you're
If you
not my
eat this,
mom.
two reasons why you eat the salad, why you should eat the salad. One, healthy, of course. But also, the other reason is that when you eat the salad first, right, that
Hmm.
makes you enjoy the burger even more because you've now been through the
No,
salad. It's like,
no.
when you drink a glass of water on a hot day. So if you drink a glass of water, right? Like let's say you've gone like it's a hot day and you've gone like, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 hours with no water and you drink a glass of water. How fresh that water tastes. That's just like that. If you eat the salad first, you go for the salad, it's like, whatever it tastes bland, whatever, da da da, but you get through it. And then you get to the burger, and now you appreciate the burger even more because you've just been through that salad. So you eat the
No,
salad for the health and for the fact that it makes you appreciate the burger more. That's two good reasons to eat the salad.
no.
Eat the
That's
salad.
not going to sell it to me because I don't have that problem. I binge watch my anime. So I already got the salad in the beginning. Now I'm ready to eat like all of my burger and then order a few more burgers. So it's just like I'm going to have probably 3 burgers in one sitting. So why would I need 3 extra salads when I'm ready to digest the rest of the story?
Okay, I probably went too far into the salad burger analogy. Okay, so let's bring
Yeah,
it
but
back a
you
little
know,
bit. Let's get back. Okay, but yeah, and I like to watch the intros. Like I said, I very rarely skip it because it's part of the experience, isn't it? It's part of like when you're
some
watching a show.
some
Yeah, I feel
are.
like it's yeah, it's part of the experience. It's part of like your show's about to start, the music is playing, and I guess it comes from. I mean, the fact going back to the '80s, where a lot of shows they put a lot of effort into their theme musics. You don't really, and like, I feel like in the past, I don't know, 5, 10 years or so, like a lot of TV shows don't really have theme musics anymore. Like they just have like maybe a tiny little jingle and they move on,
Yep.
and like, but back then, like you had actual theme music, and so it was part of the experience of just like sitting through. And remember, this is back where you couldn't even skip it anyway. So you had to be engaged, just like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, Heroes in a House Shell, Turtle Power. Da-na-na. It was all part of that experience of every single episode. And I guess that's kind of carried with me now when I'm watching shows where that theme, that introduction theme is part of the theme music. It's part of the experience. And even though you can skip it, I know, and I have done that a couple of times, but it just feels weird to me. Where, especially when a show like Full Metal, where they have clearly put some effort into the theme music, it's like, yeah, let me give it the respect it deserves. Let me sit through this, even though I've heard it 10 times, whatever. It's like, no, I'm gonna sit through this because they've made that effort, they've put it there, and it gives me that moment, that opportunity to kind of get myself ready for what they're about to show. So I never skip. Well, I very rarely skip, I should say. More often than not, I sit through the theme, and especially if it's a good one. Though to be fair, that is rare these days. You get a good theme, so
I literally stopped watching an anime because they changed the introduction. So
yeah. That's just terrible.
like
Come on
like
now.
like the story got really bad and they changed the opening. I was like, okay, maybe I can do this. So I skipped the opening to watch the rest of the show because I couldn't tolerate the opening anymore. And then the show's storyline just got really, it fucking pissed me off. Like there's no nice words about that I can give it. But I'm just like, out of all the things that I've heard with anime, this one takes the cake. So I'm
Which
good.
show? Which anime was that?
Fire Force.
Okay, I don't even know if I
So
even heard that
it's
one.
basically people in the future get special fire abilities, and some of these abilities can even change time if they're able to manipulate their fire enough. And I'm like, I'm not even talking about like fake fire. I'm talking about shit that burns houses down. Like that's a real problem. So it's just like, I'm good. This is really stupid now. Like, I don't need it to be plausible. I'm okay with that. But stopping time because you're just so good with fire really makes me mad.
I mean, I guess I have to see it to understand what they mean by that, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe, yeah, because I guess it
that
depends on how
first
it's explained.
opening, that first opening was a banger. It was so good. I didn't skip it. I didn't skip it once because I was jamming so hard. And like Yeah, I get it. I get it when you don't have to skip it, but sometimes it's like, yeah, you're like low ball energy, like feel good shit. I already feel good because I know what I'm getting myself into. Versus like a shonen jump anime, kind of like, ooh, super hardcore action, ooh, super hot chick, ooh, watch this fight scene. Here's the story, ooh, reveal. And then it's just like, oh yeah, I know I'm in this shit. Let's go. So it's like, okay. But then when you change it, like as many times as like Naruto did, it's like, maybe,
I mean, Naruto's like a million
man,
episodes long at this point, so.
dude, I think it's like, okay, so that does not count because Naruto has like 534 episodes, and it's like it technically Naruto ended because now we have Boruto, and Boruto is his son, and that does not focus on Naruto. So Naruto is done. Boruto is not, and I refuse to give that any more energy. So like I've watched up to episode 100, and that's still just world building and like filler shit. So I'm like, what? Up
Yeah.
to episode 100, still world building. What the hell is this One Piece? We already know what's happening here. Like I already went through 500 episodes of the previous shit.
500 episodes of your life you'll never get back. Was it worth it?
I did not say Naruto was not a waste of time. I thoroughly enjoyed Naruto,
Okay.
and there were some filler arcs that were okay, but there were some episodes where I just had to push through. It was like a hard workout on a hot day, 30 Celsius, outside, no clouds, no wind, dead
Yeah.
heat.
That's basically my life right now.
But
Oof.
you're glowing.
Yeah. I guess that's the one good thing. I look like I'm a baby oiled up like a wrestler.
I was about to say you're pregnant.
Might be.
Oh, take it easy over there.
Yeah. But yeah,
Anyways,
that's for the OnlyFans.
careful. We might get demonetized now.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Let me calm down. Let me calm
Careful.
down. All right, then. So, Lady Celeste, before we end
Yeah.
today, is there anything else you'd like to add or say or mention about anything we've talked about, or just anything else in general that you think we need to say before we hit the stop recording button?
Go to a movie theater solo by yourself and keep your words to yourself. It's okay to be hyped and like excited, but don't be going to the movie theater being all like, that's Captain America, my boy. And it's like, dude, no, just stop. Like, you don't need to be like that. I don't know why I chose Captain America. That was the most random one.
Yeah,
But
why
it's
not?
like, you don't want to go to like the next, oh my God, the next Spider-Man movie coming out and be all like, oh man, did you see that happened in blah 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 in Homecoming, blah 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 blah. So it's just like, do not be recap Mr. Magook over there, because we do not need someone to tell us, hey, this is what happened previously. There's Google, there's AI, there's all these other things. Just keep your mouth shut. Keep your things to yourself. If you're leaving the theater and you just watched it, fine. But as soon as you sit inside, where all the pews of chairs, recliners, luxury chairs, or like normal stadium seating chairs, shut the fuck up. You can cheer, you can woo, you can cry, you can laugh. But words and being like, or oh man, that's not accurate. Like, oh yeah, that's Howard the Duck. Blah 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 blah. I don't care. Okay, I paid money for my movie ticket. Do not be influenced by some douchebag talking about it, trying to act all Mr. Steven Spielberg. I know about this. Guess what? You didn't make the movie. Like, they made it. Enjoy it. Shut up and sit down. And if you don't enjoy it, well, go back to the theater, get your refund. But don't mess everyone else up, because they paid money too. And that shit's expensive, because going to the movies is still a luxury.
Agreed. We all enjoy movies, but let's enjoy them in silence, please. Thank you.
Oh, not that much silent. Because like I do remember when I went
Well,
to
certain
I went to
exceptions
like,
permitted.
yeah, because like there's some times when I'm at the movie theater, and this is why I asked about like the whole body gesture thing, like if something happens, I'm just like, I'll do the cute like this is what drag queens do if they don't want it to clap or something. They'll go like this. They'll go like this. It's like a silent clap. Yeah, or like their nails will also make the sound.
Okay,
So there's that.
not long enough.
But it's just like you don't have to be all like, yeah, go get him, Jackie Chan. Like, no, you don't need to be like that. But like there are times with me where I'm just like I literally fangirl when I'm watching. So I'm like I do that. I'm a very active, engaged enthusiast when I am watching art displayed,
Yeah,
projected
I
in
think
front of
that's
me
fine because
through
that
a
sort of
paint.
thing is like, I mean, you're not going to be disturbing somebody doing stuff like that, so that's fine. Like if you started standing up and like waving your arms around and be like, "Whoa, yeah," maybe that's a bit of an issue. But something like that, you know,
Yeah,
that's
like
fine. It's still
I
within your kind of own area. You know what I mean?
yeah. So like it's kind of like if you've been on an airplane within that vicinity, you want to stay within this shoulder width area
Yeah,
of you.
exactly. Within your own kind of
Stay within your
seating.
shoulder width area.
Yeah. But yeah. All right then.
Yeah, that's it.
So, oh wait, I was about to say something.
I think that's about it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's about it.
All right then. So yeah, thank you for watching and or listening. Let us know what you think of anything we talked about today, whether that's Masters of the Universe, Hurricane Bianca from Russia with Hate, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Hurricane Bianca, God of War Laufey, people talking in the cinema. What else we talk about? Oh, the
Oh, we
Steam
talked
Box.
about
Yeah.
accuracy with voice actors and their characters.
Yeah, accuracy with voice actors and characters. Let's know what you think about all of that. Any suggestions or recommendations, drop it in the comments and we'll see what we can do. But that is going to be it for the minute. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I just copied the Generation X's thingy. So, yeah. Thank you for watching and or listening. And until whenever, if ever,